But let's talk about Manchester United and the whole news coming out of Manchester United, because, you know, on this show, I love talking about Manchester United because they would give me a reason to smile. But let's start with a few of the developments. Let's hear your take on it. One is the fact that they are cutting costs. The new owners, Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe, kind of cut costing measures by actually saying that no more lunch for non-football players on the team, saving maybe £2 million in a year, who knows, whatever the amount is. Removing the ambassador title for Sir Alex Ferguson for $2 million. Seriously, Sir Alex, without... I would leave my thoughts. I want you to give your thoughts first, because I have a lot to go about $2 million for Sir Alex Ferguson. And okay. And then the announcement about trying to build a new stadium. I thought they were broke, but let's get into it. Let me hear what you got to think about Manchester, because it's all things got thoughts.
I think for United, as you were about to mention, without Ferguson, United wouldn't have been who they are. So
they should just pay him $2 million for, in fact, for just sleeping.
Exactly. He has earned every right to get as much as the club can offer him. So I don't know the mathematics that was done on the part of the owners and how they feel saving $2 million is going to help in any way, including the cost cutting for food and what's not. But one thing I've always been consistent about in terms of the things I know, when it comes to investors or ethnicities and then how they treat investments, I know the British are very stingy people. So it is not a surprise to me that Ratcliffe is going about things this way, where he's attacking the people who are essentially on the bottom of the pyramid when it comes to the earning powers at Manchester United, whereas they are very useless players on bloated contracts on the team that they are struggling to sell or struggling to offload. And I believe that is where they should be turning their attentions to. But just as with every incompetent person, you always look out for the weakest link to use or to point at as your justification for why things are not working in a certain way. But outside that, for Manchester announcing plans to build a new stadium, it is Manchester United, regardless of their form or where they are currently. The brand and then the equity the brand has, I think by far in
Sir
England.
Alex Ferguson helped create that, and it has sustained on just brand for 25 years.
Exactly. No, so again, the brand is there. It is Manchester United, right? From the value the club has to the global fan base it has, and then how we can directly trace everything to a living legend like Sir Alex Ferguson. It comes as no surprise that they are seeking to expand their capacity from 70,000 to 100,000.
100,000, yeah.
And they are going to fill it up in a snap because it's Manchester United, right? So, yeah, for United, this season has been very underwhelming. But this gives them room to start from a clean slate again in the coming season, where Amorim now has no excuse because he's been with the club for, I think, by the time the season ends, he'll be with the club for about 8 to 9 months. So he now has an insight into the ins and outs of the club and then the material he wants to work with and those he wants to bring in. Right? I think this was the whole essence behind them forcing him to join this early, just so that blues of, I just joined the club and I just had one preseason with them, so I'm still getting used to them, won't be an excuse in the coming season. You've worked with the materials, you know which ones are not good enough for your style of play. So in the off season, you have to make sure you get your recruitments right and hit the ground running to compete in a new season, because everybody starts from scratch. So for Manchester, yes, they are undergoing a whirlwind at the moment, but it is Manchester United, so you can never count them out.
Oh, yo, I will count them out. I am so excited to talk about this because everything about... First of all, I would start with the fact that the things that actually excite me about Manchester United and their current struggles or perceived struggles over the last since Alex Ferguson left the team is because I think the fans are delusional. The fans are the reasons why they can do stuff like this. They keep buying jerseys, they keep filling up the theater of dreams for what? For Europa League and for excuses and for stuff like what the Ineos group is doing right now. And I'm like, they're going to be increasing ticket prices. They're going to be trying to sell a new stadium, and they're not going to be playing in major European championships, and they're going to be finishing bottom half of the table. And the fans are going to pay top dollar. Because the problem, somebody fills the stadium, somebody is delusional enough to call it the theater of dreams, somebody is living 20 years ago. So I love this, because one thing I'm excited about is when there's a change of leadership like this, and I am very vested in the pain and sorrow of Manchester United as a club. What concerns me is that has a competent individual taking over the club. So I'm always trying to look out. I remember Amorim coming in, and I just kind of try to just see his press conference or whatever. And I'm very confident they are going in the direction that allows me to keep coming after them. And I don't think he's that. But I like always looking out to see, this could be a competent person. This could actually make a difference. But now I'm feeling very confident and very good that these are pure incompetent people currently running Manchester United, and I love it. And I don't know how long it's going to happen. I really like the fact that I actually think, are you kidding me? You're going bankrupt and you have money issues. Solution, let's raise ticket prices. We're not going to be playing in Europe next year, maybe, but doesn't matter. We're going to raise ticket prices. Sir Alex Ferguson that keeps the enthusiasm. You see him in the stadium, whatever. You're riding on the coattails of what he did. Let's stop paying him. Let's stop giving the guys lunch so that our balls get deflated and nobody looks out for, who cares about who makes sure the equipment guys are good. Meanwhile, we're going to keep paying Erik ten Hag for not coaching us. Very smart guys. We're supposed to... Let me get something. You take over the club, the books are bad. And your first decision is, I'm going to extend Erik ten Hag, and I'm going to spend hundreds of millions of pounds in the transfer market. Are you telling me that these guys don't actually look at the books, or they just took out the club? And now I know there are incompetent people at the top of my... I love it. I really actually love it. Like, these are all excuses. You're admitting, Erik ten Hag was wrong. This is not the solution to your problem. You could have started the solution. When you take over a team, everybody knows it's time to slash. That's the moment you make changes, and people are understanding. You chose immediately to extend. What happened? You weren't running low on funds then, right? I don't get it. You extend, you buy multiple. I don't see the impact of a lot of the players that they bought last transfer window. You could have said, okay, let's take one transfer window to look at the books, and these are the decision makers, and your solution is, instead of the players and the top earners and the managers and the who knows what the directors that they brought in. Very incompetent directors, by the way. I don't even want to talk about the excuses for resigning Erik ten Hag. They were like, we don't know. No, we watched the news. We knew Manchester United problems. And they were like, let's give some time. I'm very excited about the Ineos group. One thing I know for a fact is Manchester United fans are going to feel it. They're going to feel it with this whole new ownership. Because if your solution to having money issues is Sir Alex Ferguson and lunch for the players, and not the hundreds and hundreds of millions of pounds spent on really expensive players that are not producing, a management that is not producing, and you, as you said earlier, go to the bottom of the rung to actually be like, let's save money there, and not look at yourselves at the top management and save money over there and the players and the most expensive things. Come on, I kind of like it. That's my own opinion. I like what one thing I can tell is that there's going to be a lot of news, and this is not going to go well anytime soon, because they come in. I think this whole idea of there's a lot of people, just as you would say, right? I don't think the Ineos group knows much about football or how to make it work, and I don't think they actually get the importance of Sir Alex Ferguson to the fans. Let me not even say to the game. Let's talk about the Manchester United fans that would love to still see him there. I'm curious to see if they pay those ticket prices, buy the jerseys, and shout Theatre of Dreams, Manchester United, after they don't see Sir Alex Ferguson in the stadium for a year plus. They are not going to be that good. Anyway, because if you're saying that you're going bankrupt, are this current Manchester United players going to be the ones to lift you out of it? I'm curious, is it Joshua Zexi, Rasmus Højlund, and the current players that are going to actually take you to where you want to be? So if you don't invest in players, right? Because I don't get it. They have to invest in players, and you're taking away lunch. So that would be interesting to see.